your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Thanks for hanging out with us on a Friday. You're listening to The Morning Drive on Double T 97.3 and DoubleT973.com, Double T 97.3 mobile app. Chois Woodman, Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire with you this morning. Y'all can chime in if you got thoughts, comments, questions. You can bring those in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Good thing everybody's still asleep, because I don't think anybody's called me on my falseness already this morning, Jamie.
Okay.
I've already lied to the people.
Yes.
It took me a while yesterday to do it with the TNT. Mm-hmm. Not just the wrong quarterback. It was John Elway, not Brett Favre in the commercials, which were classic commercials. But I was looking at tomorrow's schedule with like everything on the Olympics. I can't even get the times right or the date right. Today's the 26th, not the 27th. We have one event going on today besides the opening ceremony, and that's shooting. That's the only thing you can watch today.
That seems a little boring.
I know. All those other things I just mentioned a little bit ago are tomorrow. So the Olympics like fully get underway after the opening ceremony. Surprise, surprise. So sorry if I got you too excited for badminton or judo or rowing, but that stuff will all be tomorrow. This one from the Yates Flooring Center chat line to start things off this morning. The acquisition of Nigeria is really big, not for tech, but probably across athletics. What are we really expecting from this new coaching staff and administration fan support? You caught lightning in a bottle. Now what are they going to do with it? You and I got into this at the very end of the show yesterday of what does one player like this mean for Tech softball in particular? And
well, you would hope that it will lead to some postseason success, which brings a positive light on your program. So even after her eligibility is gone, you will, because you're in the postseason, that recruits will see Texas Tech as a possible destination where you can go and play deep into the postseason and all that good stuff. And so you hope it leads to adding other players in the future as well. It really sets the foundation for a great program. Just like I feel like the 2014 team set the foundation for the great run that Tech baseball has had, and that players felt like, hey, that's a place where I can go, where I can get to Omaha, and that proved to be true. And so before that, I think probably recruits said, hey, I like Coach Tadlock, I like Coach Thomas, all the above, but I want to pick one of these schools that I think I can get to Omaha. Well, suddenly you looked at Texas Tech as a place that could get you to Omaha. And so hopefully that's what kind of happens here.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you would like long term, right? I think in the short term you should, at bare minimum, expect to go to the postseason. I mean, is it fair to expect with one player that you should be a regional host?
It feels like to me it is.
I think so. You get the number one pitcher in the country. And it's not like it was a one-off either, right? It's not like she had one amazing season. She's put together two phenomenal seasons in a row, her freshman and sophomore years at Stanford. So with that, I think in a sport where you could pitch almost every single game, I think you should expect some really high-end things from this softball team, which you should expect to be hosting regionals in Lubbock this year. And if you fall short of that, you fall short of it, but I don't think that's a unfair expectation.
It all goes back to what we have talked about, and that how much of an impact one pitcher can make on one season.
Yeah, it's not the same as baseball where you need three pitchers really and you need more than that, but you need at least three solid pitchers to have a really good feeling about a team. And then injuries factor in way more in baseball, and you never know. And it's kind of crazy to put all your eggs in one basket of one player, because what if she does get injured?
Right, absolutely.
But I think if you look at her like you would a quarterback of a football team that you have high expectations for, and if she stays healthy, then Canada should really lead this softball team. And it's not like you've only got one player.
No, absolutely.
Glasgow's added quite a few.
Yeah, brought in some quality
solid
players.
Pieces, so.
And then you had a great recruiting class too.
Yeah. So that's pretty amazing. I wonder what what's his face? Snyder feels like. It's like, why didn't you do this last year? Why didn't you go get this player for me last year, huh? I'm sure that probably crossed his mind. But all right, y'all can chime in with more like that or whatever you want to get into. Still didn't jinx the Rangers, so 4 in a row.
Way to go.
White Sox keep on giving. I think we are 4 days away from the trade deadline at this point. I think it's next Tuesday. This Rangers team, it's kind of funny it lined up where they played the White Sox where they did. Because that is truly as much of a...
It's funny to win.
Well, I'm saying because if you play almost anybody else, your decision-making gets tougher around the trade deadline. But they had as close to a 4-game free space on the bingo card as you could when playing the White Sox. There's nothing guaranteed in the sport of baseball, but that is the worst team in baseball that you got here. And it pushes you closer to the top of the standings as the trade deadline approaches. There's talks of Eovaldi and that sort of thing, but the Rangers sit now 2.5 games back in the standings, and Seattle's suffered an injury.
But they just traded for Randy Arozarena.
They did. So now you wonder, okay, Seattle's trying to go back in. Do the Astros go get someone? Who were they in rumors with yesterday? Guerrero? Is that what I saw?
That was one. Paredes from the Rays as well.
Yeah. So Astros are in talk. It feels like those other two teams, I mean, we know the Mariners are going after people. Sounds like the Astros are going to, or at least flirting with it. But it doesn't feel like the Rangers are going to add, right?
Possible. I mean, I still think that you could use another bat and a right-handed power-hitting bat. And the question is, do you have, because of the guys that you have coming back and you have this surplus of starting pitchers, would it make sense to trade one of those starting pitchers to try to improve your offense?
Oh, man.
I know that's hard to consider with starting pitching.
Right. You always want starting pitching. Mm-hmm. Always. It never feels like you can have too much pitching. Yep. But I don't know. I mean, you're supposed to get Josh Young at back at some point. Is that ever going to happen?
Well, he's
sounds
supposed
like
to be
progress.
on a rehab start today.
Yeah.
He's playing 5 innings today, so I would assume.
In Frisco, right?
Yeah.
Joined by old Kumar Rocker.
Yep.
See, he got the promotion. So, I don't know. As a Rangers fan, I'm kind of in mixed feelings here. I definitely don't want to sell off any farm, anything like that. But if you can get another solid bat at a good price, then I'm all for it. Go for it. Rangers are 7-3 in their last 10 games, sitting 2.5 back in the AL West standings with roughly 100 games to go, a little less than 100 games to go. I mean, might as well go in. This division is for the taking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go in, but I don't think you want to decimate your farm system.
No, this isn't hey, we're selling out to go win a World Series type of thing.
Well, but I mean, you still could. It's not like you're out of the question. Like you can't play with the teams that are
right. That's my point. You don't sell out at the trade deadline to win the World Series, but you still have a lot that's supposed to come back on your roster. So you want to add 1 or 2 pieces, probably more medium pieces than major pieces, then I'm for it. Y'all can chime in on that or anything else you want to. It's the Morning Drive on Double T 97.3.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Coming up in 30 minutes time, we'll talk some NFL. Maybe some Dak Prescott as well. In 15 minutes, we will get to this day in sports history. Right now, more from you on the Yates Flooring Center chat line.
The Morning Drive on Double T 97.3.
Chois Woodman, Jamie Lent in the First United Bank studio. Keep getting your thoughts in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Like this one, I'll take a ham sandwich over Dak Prescott. It's hard to beat a great ham sandwich. I mean,
is it really?
What are you, a turkey guy?
It's pretty easy to beat any sandwich.
You're right. I'm just lying out my teeth. I don't. Sandwiches are meh. Yeah. Like people that pay, like these sandwich shops, the fast food sandwich shops or whatever, people that choose them, like I'll get one occasionally, but it is not what I'm seeking out most of the time. You're paying $10, $11 for a sandwich meal instead of $10 or $11 for a burger. I'm just like, why?
Well, I would pick the burger, but I
would too. If
it's a hot sandwich, I'm in.
Okay, well, you can get a hot ham and cheese.
Yeah, that's just still pretty plain though.
Most of the time, I'll pick a hot not over a burger, but I do like hot sandwiches too.
Yeah. When I think sandwich, I think cold.
Okay, you're thinking just what you slap together at home.
Yeah, if you're thinking some sort of hot sandwich, I'm in. I mean, again, not. I'll choose a burger over that or a piece of pizza, but some grilled chicken. But I'll take that. I like the Italian meats, the pepperonis and the salamis and that sort of thing. So I'm all the way in on that. This from the chat line. Lost it. Do y'all know when Tech will release its men's basketball team non-conference schedule? You would think it's coming pretty quick. It's got to be. I mean, we're inside of the 3-month mark, right? I'm Ron Burgundy. It's like November 10th or something like that. So I think we're roughly 4 months out. So 11-10. So that if you subtract 3, that would be 8-10. Inside of the 4-month mark. There we go. So you're, 3.5 months. So I can tell you what is down, though, so far, if you would like. Tech is going to play a game against Wyoming. Don't have the date yet. That one they scheduled this year after the cancel. After we took their coach, right? That's what happened. I think Jeff Linder. Alex Taylor's the one that reported it. Jeff Linder comes from Wyoming, the head coach, to be on McCaslin's staff. Remember that happened? I remember that. Payment was a basketball series. Payment? Yeah, they didn't. The like buyout. A home and home? The buyout. So they're coming here and we'll pay them money for that. That was how the buyout worked. That's how they wrote it up. Okay, so we're not going there? No, because I think they're coming here again next year. 25 or 26. Yes. Okay. So I think they've got that set up for 2 years. Anyway, so you got that game. Tech's got a game against Northwestern State at 7 o'clock on November 8th. November 18th, you play Arkansas Pine Bluff at home. Then you play in the Brooklyn Legends Classic the week of November 21st. Is that Thanksgiving week? No, I think it's the one before, actually, because we were supposed to play the Aggies Thanksgiving week, and that scooted around. But that one has Syracuse, St. Joe's, and Texas in it. We don't know who you're playing yet in that, I believe. Gosh, you could have to play Texas in both basketball and baseball. Look at that. Coming year. I'm definitely wanting, nothing big against St. Joe's, but definitely want Syracuse and Texas in that matchup. Those are the two that would be the more attractive ones. Have a game against DePaul on December 4th at home. Mm-hmm.
have, as of right now, a game at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth against A&M on December 8th. That one I don't think has been fully confirmed, but that was the one that replaced.
I thought that was a done deal.
It is a done deal? Okay.
I thought it was, but
I'm just going off of a report here. December 16th, you play Oral Roberts at home. December 21st, Lamar at home. And that's all that's down so far. I don't think that's the full non-conference slate, but it's most of it. So we'll get the full slate. Schedules and times, I'm sure we're waiting on ESPN for times on stuff too and all of that. So hopefully that helps out some, but there's no full schedule out just yet. I was trying to look back on just Google to see when they released last year, and I couldn't find when the non-conference schedule came out. This from the chat line says, didn't Texas Tech sign a right-handed pitcher yesterday, and what is his potential? That's from Dan in Dallas.
I think they signed a shortstop yesterday, a high school shortstop by the name of Ryan Coleman from Tomball. I didn't see anything on a
Ryan Coleman
right-handed pitcher.
So the Orphe kid we talked about yesterday, there's some talk that he may not be a 25 guy. What? Right,
that he would have one more year of junior college before he came to the Red Raiders.
Have we seen that before where a guy commits that early in junior college?
This seems odd unless he's, because when you're at junior college, you can basically leave and head to Division I at any point as long as your grades are up to snuff.
Which could be a holdup, yeah.
Right. Or, again, this was a kid that had committed to Clemson out of high school, but then ended up in junior college. So I don't know what the grade situation is like. It would seem odd to me that the grades were keeping him from moving to the next level after just 1 year, but maybe that's the case.
Right. All right, y'all keep your thoughts coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Coming up next, it will be This Day in Sports History as Jeff takes us through the rounds, what happened on this day back in time. Also, in about 20 minutes, Dak Prescott or blank. You get to choose if you would take other quarterbacks or Dak Prescott. Usually we're surprised at how high he is on the list. At least I am when we compare him to other quarterbacks. It is The Morning Drive on Double T 97.3.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Glad to be part of your Friday. You're listening to The Morning Drive on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com, the Double T 97.3 mobile app. Brought to you by Happy State Bank. Keep the thoughts, the comments coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll get some of your reaction right now. Someone says... What are you laughing at? You want to share with the class?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
This is funny off the chat line. Pronouncing moron Cuba the way it is spelled is rich coming from a Dumas guy.
Hey now.
At least they have an accent mark.
Hey now.
That was well played.
No, it's not. Because that is all we... I mean, anytime we travel anywhere in Dumas, you know what we're called. So that gives me the right to make fun of others, right?
Were you guys all a fan of former Phoenix Sun Richard Dumas?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why? He played for Oklahoma State for a stretch.
Well, because I had his basketball card when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Who else did he play with? Pistons?
I don't know. He was at his best for the Suns.
A real Richard.
He had drug issues. I think that was not great.
Oh yeah, he went to Oklahoma State, so it was probably meth.
I think he had gotten booted from somewhere else in Oklahoma State. Shocker. Said, hey come play for us.
No, only Suns.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that right?
He's a good player for about a 5-year
Oh
stretch.
gosh, no.
Yeah.
I might you want to look at this section over here. Okay, he played everywhere, but only 2 NBA teams, Suns and 76ers.
Yeah.
Those were his 2 teams. He also played for the Oklahoma City Cavalry at some point. Cavalry. I don't know why I went Calvary.
Yeah.
Cavalry at some point. And something called the Derby Storm, New Hampshire Thunderloons. So
Thunderloons. Yeah, I think he had some trouble with the
wacky
drugs.
tobacco.
Yeah, I don't remember what kind it was.
Again, Oklahoma, probably meth. Actually, you might not be able to listen in more on Cuba. Communist nations are known to censor the internet, and you guys might be considered American propaganda.
Oh, we're definitely propaganda.
That's what they label us as, for sure. American propaganda.
I don't know if it's
These
American
colors don't run.
Yeah.
Except, you know what?
It's more red. I think it's more Red Raider propaganda than anything else.
Well, I don't know. After this, hearing stuff this week about how Jamie's going to root against Team USA, if they're Red Raiders in the mix, then the Cubans are probably, all right.
Okay,
get this anti-American guy here.
It's just, I feel like we're going to win the most, right? We're going to win the most.
In the Summer Olympics, we have had the most medals since the 80s. Yeah.
We're going to end up with the most medals, so ultimately we're going to win the championship, okay, quote unquote, right? At the same time, I want Red Raiders to be able to come back with a medal? With a medal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really what it's about, because I still think it's like if Derek Jeter was playing for the Rangers, I would want Derek Jeter to go 5 for 5 and the Yankees to still beat the Rangers.
Okay.
Yeah, I get that. So in this scenario, How about Josh
Young? You can use him because he actually plays for the Rangers. If they're playing the Yankees,
yes, I want Josh to go 5 for 5, and I want the Yankees to win. Okay,
that's fine.
So I want the USA to ultimately win. So win the
big
thing.
One, but have success with it.
Okay, but all of our Red Raiders to have success.
You're actually making some sense there. You know what?
Yeah. And I don't want to
write this date down.
And I don't want to root for the women's soccer team. Okay,
you've made that pretty clear.
Women's basketball team,
or the women's basketball team.
Yeah.
Bullfighter says, I big time disagree with y'all. No way I'm picking Dak Bryant, Chuck Jote, that many times. Okay. That's fine.
Where were you? You said I had him 10th?
You had him 10th. I think I had him 9th. So I think there was only a couple that I wouldn't have chosen.
A couple of those answers would have changed if we were picking for the future.
Exactly.
Not just 1 year.
That was for right now, would you take Dak Prescott this year over those other players? Not
because some of those guys I feel like they're going to get better. Yeah. And I'm giving them a chance to say they'll have postseason success.
Yep.
Whereas at this point, I think we've seen enough of the sample size to think that Dak is not going to suddenly become a different player.
Totally agree. Yeah. I think that when you look at it like that.
Like Herbert would be a difference.
Yeah, the Herbert's one I chose over him. But, I think that when it comes to Dak Prescott, I don't know. Maybe I do roll the dice on someone else that's more of an unknown, because it does feel like you're where you are with Dak Prescott. And
it's not going to change.
It's not going to change. And you and I sat here and said, it looks like the Cowboys could be 12-5 again this year for the 4th straight season. And there's some fan bases that would lick their lips at an opportunity at a 12-5 regular season. But if you're the Dallas Cowboys, if you're the New York Yankees, if you're the Los Angeles Lakers, there's different expectations that roll with your program.
Sure.
And regular season's just not good enough. Mm-hmm. And it's not just that regular season's not good enough. Like, my Cowboys fandom is so much more arrogant than my Texas Rangers fandom. I am thrilled to the moon with the Rangers for winning a World Series.
Same with me with the Yankees compared to the Bills.
Yeah. So I get that there's just a different expectation that comes with the Cowboys. But it's not even just that, Jamie. It's that you haven't been past the second round of the playoffs. You haven't been to a league championship game since I was 6 years old. That's unbelievable for a program that's supposed to be of this clout and caliber. To go that long without at least getting into your league championship game. So it's not a Dak Prescott issue. It's an issue with the organization and inability to get there. And I don't know whatever turns the tide. It'll happen at some point. I may be 80 years old, but it's going to happen. Maybe it's when Jerry kicks the bucket, like I keep saying. But gosh dang, that guy hangs on for a long time. Yeah, so I don't. When it comes to Dak Prescott, it just feels like you're in a purgatory right now. And purgatory is probably the wrong word because there's good that does happen. But it feels like you can't ever climb out of where you are until you move on. Whether that's going down with a lesser quarterback or going up with a better quarterback. And those are hard to find, as we've seen. Now, Jeff brought up the point during the break. Like, okay, how many times is the 9th or 10th best quarterback in the league won a championship?
I would say the majority of the time it's lower than the top. It's in the top 9. It's in, the better part of that. But that doesn't mean that it's never happened. But the majority are certainly, quarterbacks are pretty key there.
Yeah, almost always. I mean, it is superstars at quarterback. Yeah. Almost always. Mm-hmm. You have a whole lot. You go back and look. The whole lot of Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning, and there's a Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, all these guys in the last 2 decades are. Nick Foles won it. I would say he was not a top 10. Matthew Stafford was inside the top 9. We just mentioned him. He's probably 6th or 7th on the list right now as an older guy. Joe Flacco won. I don't think he was a top 10 guy, or he would have been borderline top 10 when he was there.
That was more about the defense there.
Wouldn't you say the same thing about Nick Foles that year?
Yeah,
but he's not in the top 10.
No, but his defense.
But that's the deal is. You either have to have an elite quarterback, like top 3 in the league, or an elite defense. And most of the time, it's quarterback.
And then we could probably fight a little while on Eli Manning.
Or,
have an unprecedented successful run in the playoffs.
Just fart rainbows for 2 years. That's what it is. That's Eli Manning. His is inexplicable. I don't get how he did that.
I love how angry this makes Joe.
He's not the only one.
2 times. It wasn't even just a 1-year run. 2 different times. He found magic. I don't get it.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
Alongside Jamie Lent, I'm Chois Woodman. Jamie, it's been a couple days since you've had your own question of the day, so I expect a really good one here.
All right, Choice, I want you to take a current Red Raider athlete, and I want you to project them to the Olympics.
Oh, boy.
Okay? They can't play their own sport. And tell me a athlete that you think would kill it at the Summer Olympics in a sport that's not theirs.
Okay, so a Red Raider, current one, on campus right now.
Yep, current Red Raider.
I'm assuming you already have someone in mind with this question.
I really don't. I mean, there's some pop into my mind. I'll go first if you guys want me to.
If you've got.
Okay, give me Taj Brooks and rugby sevens.
Okay. That's like a perfect.
I mean, these guys are compact
stocky,
and powerful and,
broad shoulders.
Yes, and quick and strong and all the above. Man, I think Taj would be terrific. Yeah.
I'm going to take Baron Morton in table tennis.
Is he good?
Every time I walk in the building, like when we're about to head on a trip, he seems to be the one playing table tennis against someone else all the time, and he's quite competitive. I don't know if he's
good or not.
No, he probably wouldn't be good enough for Olympics, obviously. That's a tough one because there's so many different sports. I'm sure there's some cowboy on the Tech football team that could ride a horse really well and throw him into equestrian. I don't know about the jumping and all that. Jeff, you have anybody? I'm really
this is
scratching here.
This is one of those questions that you figure we could come up with an easy answer for.
Right.
But there's nobody that's got like that level of speed for the track and field events. Because even as fast as anybody on the Tech football team is or baseball team is, that's elite level speed on a track. So they're not going to, they might be able to participate, but they're not medaling. They're not getting close to the medal. They're not getting close to the final. We don't have a gymnastics program per se, so that takes out all of the swimming, the diving stuff. I don't know how any of these guys swim, so that takes out all the things in the pool. I don't know these guys to know who would be good at table tennis, so that takes those. I don't know who the shooters are, so that takes out like the archery stuff and the rifle stuff. I need to know what these guys are interested in other than their sports.
Okay, so you first off, you make the quick transition. Think of sport that's close to a sport. For example, badminton. Which sport is close to it?
Tennis.
Pick Tyler Stewart. Okay. Local kid. He's left-handed. Okay. So I like that. I feel like that would be more difficult.
I mean wrong-handed, but okay.
Okay. So I think that's where you guys are going wrong. Think of a sport that's close by. Or think of one like, I mean, basketball is a Summer Olympic sport. Is there some athlete that you look at on our football team or our baseball team and you're like, that guy would kill it on the basketball court?
Well, Will Burns was pretty good at the basketball court at one point. I'm trying to think, who won the dunk contest?
Like, I think Micah Hudson's build, surely he was a good basketball player.
I don't know. There's guys that... we had this one guy in Dumas that was amazing. No, amazing. He was a really good football player, but you put him on a basketball court and he looked like a baby deer. Like, he just couldn't handle just whatever reason. He was a receiver, so he could catch the ball. So it's not always a one-to-one transition, but I get what you're saying. Someone on the football team's got to be a good breakdancer or basketball team, right?
Oh, yeah. See,
now you got that.
Think about the breakdancing.
Someone's got to be able to do some breakdancing there.
Mason Tharp, forward, basketball. 6'9" forward.
There we go.
You
know what? I think that you found it. He's got to be able to do something. 6'9", use that body.
I don't know, man. I think I might take Jalen Conyers with his athleticism. I might rather have him.
I got it. TJ Pompey in handball.
He'd be good. Yeah, he'd be really
He's
good.
He's got the jump throw. I mean, yeah. Handball would be a lot of fun to see some of those baseball players play some handball.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lot of...
I know. I think we should take Micah Hudson in flag football.
Micah Hudson.
Technically, that's not his sport.
Okay. Micah Hudson in flag football.
That's kind of cheating.
I forgot that's a thing this year.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I like your question. That was fun. Jamie,
who's our best judo guy that we would have on campus, or karate?
I don't know. Don't have a clue.
This feels like a Texas Tech Media Days question. When we start talking to all the Tech football players.
Yeah, if you were to play an Olympic sport
that isn't
your own.
Not your own. That is not your own.
What would it be?
What would be your competition? That's a good question. Sure, because that'll be going on. Olympics will still be going down when that's happening. So I don't know.
And how many of them would say table tennis is the next question?
I would tell you. I think some of your football players, receivers in particular, that can get up, and maybe basketball players would fit this too, could play some beach volleyball.
Sure.
I mean, just really getting up there. I think that would be that'd be fun to watch.
We do consider beach volleyball and court volleyball the same, though, right?
No.
So you would say that some of our women's volleyball players could go play beach volleyball?
Oh, you're saying the same across that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
I would call that the same.
Yeah.
Yes, I would call that the same.
Yeah.
So
fully realizing that it's completely two disciplines of that sport.
Yeah.
Surely we got some good old West Texas Cowboys on our team and our athletic department that could do some equestrian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would
it's
think
just
so.
such a different style of writing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's so different.
More from you on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll catch up on some of that. Question about the Mariners, AL West Division. Some more comments there as well. We got the boom, boom, boom. Some headlines for you coming up next on Double T 97.3.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
So happy you've made us part of your Friday. You're listening to the Morning Drive on Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com, Double T 97.3 mobile app, and on television, Fox 34 News Now. However, wherever you're joining us from, we're thrilled that you've made us part of your Friday morning. He's Jamie Lent. I'm Chois Woodman. In for Chuck Heinz today. Jeff McGuire back behind the glass handling us. Y'all can keep hitting us up. Many of you have reacted on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Got some college football talk I want to get into, as well as an Olympic hodgepodge of factage to get you ready for opening ceremony coming up. But we'll get into that. Y'all keep those thoughts coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the Double T 97.3 mobile app, which you can carry anywhere with you. Even listen in out in Antelope Flats, Texas. Jamie's been there probably.
Not that I know of. Have you?
I think I've been through. It's like a really small
Sounds like a really small place.
area. Antelope Flats is right there, near that other place.
Is it on the way to?
It's actually, I have. It's between Turkey, Texas, and Clarendon. Right
Okay,
about
so
that.
it's possible I've been there.
It's north of Caprock Canyons.
Yeah.
So it's right up there. Not too far away. All right, Jamie. I teased this a little bit ago. I think we are on our way to usher in a new era of more parity in college football.
Is this tell me I'm wrong?
It can be. You can tell me I'm wrong. But I think there's a combination of two things that will allow us to see more parity. And one reason I am so excited for the new college football playoff is it gives us a chance at seeing some upsets. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the past, we've kind of had things pretty straightforward. The best team in college football usually wins, not always, but usually runs through and finds their way in, whether that be Georgia or LSU or a lot of times Alabama. They'll find their way to a championship. But with more games standing in the way, there's more chance for upset. That's automatically opportunity for more parity. We also, Jamie, only have 3 active coaches that have won a national championship still coaching right now. Nick Saban exited the game this last offseason. So that rids us of a lot of former championships. Maybe you think DeBoer is going to be able to do the same thing in Alabama. Maybe you don't. But I think because there is some of the old hats, not everybody, but some of the old hats are leaving college football, that combined with a larger playoff will bring us some more parity, and we're going to see some more teams win the national championship. Okay, now you can tell me I'm wrong. But you look back, I mean, the winner last year's national champion coach is gone. He went to the NFL. Mm-hmm. Can you name the 3 that are still active?
Dabo.
There's one. Which his team feels like, they're doing things different, so I don't even know if they're going to be in the mix as much.
I'm still thinking.
There's one an obvious one that you're missing. They won back-to-back titles in 21 and 22. Georgia.
Oh,
Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
And then there's one that's a lot less obvious because he hasn't won a championship since 2005, and it was at a different school.
Who?
Mac Brown. Still coaching over at North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, I should have got Georgia.
But that's it. Florida State won one in 2013.
All I could think
He
about
didn't
was
have a job.
I was thinking about Ohio State and Oklahoma and the schools that are always in the playoff, and I'm like, nope, they never won it. I'm thinking of Michigan and
I mean,
yeah.
LSU, Coach O is gone.
Yep.
Ohio State, he's gone.
Yeah. Or,
Making weird
Guy
videos
can't-
on the internet.
yeah.
Went to the NFL and he's on TV. Florida State, he's old Aggie boots, and he's not even coaching anywhere right now. Mm-hmm. So
I would tell you, Choice, the points that you're trying to make, I think you're right in that it gives you an opportunity
yes,
to have more parity. But I think in reality, the difference between those teams at the top and the rest of college football is still enormous. And so I still think the gap's too wide for those things to equal out and make parity.
maybe when I say parity, it just means more teams in the Big Ten and SEC will have a chance. Maybe that's what it will be, where it's not. Because I said we've got 3 coaches in the. So we've had a college football playoff era for 10 years, right? Is that right? I'm looking to both of you. Michigan, Georgia, Bama, LSU, Clemson, and Ohio State, and Florida State. So you've had 7 different teams win in 11 years. Seven win in 11 years. There's still been a lot of Bama. There was an Auburn, Florida, LSU, Texas, USC are all champions post-2000. OU won one in 2002, Miami. So still, every single one of those names is at least a level of a blue blood. So parity, I'm using that pretty loosely. Mm-hmm. Because we still haven't seen a new national champion since 1996, someone that had never won one before. 1996, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we're going to see that again.
I just think the separation between those teams at the top is just, it's enormous. And the points that you're making, they probably do help in trying to level things out, but I just think the gap's too big right now.
I'm hoping we get somewhere closer to college basketball's postseason with a larger amount of teams. Obviously, I'm comparing 12 to 68, but 12 to 4, you're tripling your size right now of what it was.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I like the thought of upsets. I like the thought of more games that brings the possibility of that. I just still don't. I think it's going to be a while before we see a lot of that.
Tell us what you think. We'll get some more of your reaction on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. It's the Morning Drive on Double T 97.3.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.